I'm Jeremy, I play bass.
I'm Taylor, and I play guitar.
I'm Josh.
We were just talking football because it was pretty crazy down here. The Lions are playing the Steelers, and it's been like crazy traffic right outside those doors. You guys aren't faring too well, though, with the Titans. You guys kind of got like the losing touch this year, too, but it's all right. You guys sports fans at all?
A little bit, yeah.
We like football, and that's
I
it.
think you have to if you're from Nashville, if you're from Tennessee.
I guess when there's not a lot of stuff to do on the road, you know what I mean? It's kind of put on Sports Center and try to follow it the best you can, actually.
It's actually tough. It's tough to you don't really get to watch much TV, not like many TV shows or anything. So we just kind of watch a lot of movies or like seasons or something. It's kind of hard to follow anything when you're on the road, but because sometimes you'll be if it was like a Sunday or something like that, and you were like yesterday, our TVs wouldn't work in the venue whatsoever, or in the bus, or so we couldn't really watch anything. So you really don't have a lot of time for stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, brand new Eyes. Congratulations, fellas, on the new album. Actually debuted at number 2. If it wasn't for that old hag, Barbara Streisand.
Hey, it's good. It's good to come second to her. You know, whatever. We're stoked.
If it's gonna be anybody, it might as well be her, right?
Yeah, heck
Now,
yeah.
if it was a band like in the same kind of genre or something, you'd be like, damn it, man, we couldn't edge them out. But Barbara Streisand, she's like a legend. You know what I
I don't
mean?
know if you can be bummed out about number 2, period.
No,
So we're just
exactly.
really happy.
Yeah. Especially nowadays with the way things are, you know. I was actually talking to Dave Grohl and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin and Josh Homme, you know, their new band, them Crooked Vultures, this past week. And I kind of got their perspective on, you know, the music industry from their point of view, some people that have been in the game for a long time. You guys being like a newer, younger band, you know, it's kind of, the music industry's in a kind of like a weird place right now, and no one really knows like what the future is. I mean, what do you guys see the outlook being?
I think we kind of hit it just at the right time because it seemed like everything after us is really they're struggling really hard. And, I mean, the label, you have to have a good label behind you that believes in you, and that's not easy to get.
All right, so, you know, the first album, obviously, Riot did very successful. It's actually your second album, but, you know, the first time a lot of people actually heard of you was on the album Riot. And, you know, it actually went platinum, which is awesome for a newer band. Now, coming into the mind state of recording Brand New Eyes, you know, obviously there had to be some pressure there because you have expectations to live up to, and, you know, they always call it like the sophomore slump and everything. How did you guys handle that?
Actually, it wasn't that bad. You know, like the label, like you would think the label would put the most pressure on us and stuff like that, but they really just kind of let us do what we wanted to do. So the only pressure that we felt was the pressure we put on ourselves and of wanting to make a better record for the fans and stuff like that. So it actually wasn't as much pressure as we thought it would be. So that helped so much. Like when, you know, making the record exactly the way we wanted, it was awesome.
I think a big part of it is not like having too many expectations going into it, you know, because I think the more expectations you have, the more you kind of set yourself up to get let down, especially with the music industry at this kind of decline. It's like, you know, you kind of hope for something, but just naturally with the digression of just the industry, it's like it always seems to be a little lower than you thought. So I think we were just like, you know what, like whatever happens, like let's not go in with any expectations, and if we sell 500 records, that'll be awesome, you know. So I think we can't even believe that we're selling as many as we are. So
You guys chose Rob Cavallo to produce this album, and, you know, the guy has an awesome track record, you know, with bands like Shinedown and Green Day and Kid Rock, which, you know, is some Detroit love here. How is it important? Is it important to choose the right producer, and how much of a role did he play with Brand New Eyes?
Producers, very important, especially to us. But Rob is just perfect for us for this record because he just let us be who we wanted to be and let us, you know, do whatever we wanted, basically. I mean, he wasn't like too overbearing, you know. He was just kind of just sat in the back and let us do our thing. And if he felt strongly about something, he would bring it. He would mention something, but he would never force his opinion on us. He'd just be like, "Listen, this is your band, but, you know, I think you should do this here." And if we felt like we needed to change something, we would. If not, he'd be totally fine if we left it. So it was perfect. We had a great time, and he was very supportive of every song we wrote. And, you know, we just meshed so well together. Like, the chemistry was so great. I don't think there was any room for any negativity or, you know, or anything bad. So it just went perfectly.
So it's good vibes.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine producers like bands sometimes could have egos too, and when you have two of them in the same room, they're just probably trying to do his thing because he has to prove his point, and I can guarantee it could probably. Now, songwriting for a band like Paramore, Haley obviously writes a lot of the lyrics, or do you guys collectively write the lyrics and then you guys come up with music, or how's like a songwriting process for a band like Paramore usually happen?
It usually starts with music first, and then the music gets sent to Haley, and then once Haley kind of sits with it, she'll kind of decide whether she likes it or not, and then we'll hear back from her. And then she'll write lyrics, and sometimes I come up with melodies and kind of help her with lyrics sometimes, but that's mainly her field.
Yeah.
And so once she has her kind of the foundation for the song, like we'll get together and we'll just jam on it until it feels right. So. And
Jeremy, are you a spiritual advisor during all this?
Spiritual advisor, yes. I just kind of watch over them. Like I keep them separated. No. If there's I don't know. Me and Taylor are usually the peacemakers. That's what we always do. Yeah. Me and Taylor are the friendly people. We're always trying to
pretty much
keep everybody smiling all the time.
Yeah, we're perfect.
Yeah.
How was I have to ask you this summer touring with the band, like No Doubt, obviously a huge band, and I can imagine Haley's been inspired by Gwen Stefani throughout her career. How was it being on the road with them, and was the crowd like pretty cool with you guys?
It was a blast, man. We couldn't have asked for a better summer tour or tour ever. Because we kind of had been wanting to. We kind of had the thought of touring with them for a long time, and I think it was just rad. They couldn't have been nicer to us, and I think with No Doubt, their audience tends to be a bit older, just because it was maybe a little bit before our time. Right. But I think with Gwen's with her solo stuff, kind of brought on like a lot younger of a crowd, kind of a newer generation, and then a lot of our fans were there. So it was like really fun every night, and they were incredible people to be with, and it was a blast, man. It was really fun.
And I'm sure they have like an older audience too. From the people I've been listening to them, you probably won over a lot of new fans too. As opposed to being on Warped Tour year after year after year playing for the same people, you go and play in front of brand new people, which has to benefit Paramore too. Yeah,
it was actually like a lot of work, but that kind of thing is fun. There's nothing better than like having every fan in the crowd singing your lyrics and like in your face and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's something about like having to win over all the fans, and a lot of the people were definitely not our crowd. They're all like older people and stuff like that, and that we've never had like come to our shows and stuff. And you can actually tell the difference. Like now, like out on this tour, I noticed like even today, Haley and I were talking about it. I looked at like the fans that were waiting outside. It doesn't look exactly like our normal line. Like there's some older and different styles and stuff, and I think it comes mainly from essentially that tour, because there were so many fans every night, and there was so many different ages, and by the end of the set, you could tell a difference from the people that were just like this, and then they were actually kind of getting into it. So we had to work for it, but that's kind of the best part.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that show was on the 4th of July, I believe, back here at the Palace. Some of those people that were at that show won them over, and they'll be front row, and you'll see some familiar faces from there. I have to share a story with you guys. Do you guys remember 89X, one of the first stations ever to play Misery Business? I got that phone call. I was on the air that night. You guys were playing St. Andrews, and the person that was down there gave me a call. He's like, Jay, next song, can you run down and grab the CD out of the office? These guys have never heard their song on the radio before. You guys were on the tour bus. It was loud as hell. I'm like, what? I can barely hear you. You play Misery Business by Paramore. So I queued it up, and like 10 minutes later, and then I guess it was like the first time you guys ever heard your song on the radio.
That was awesome.
We were freaking out. I remember that. We just turned it up so loud. Probably blew the speakers in the bus, but it was amazing. It was like, obviously, none of us had ever heard our song on the radio. It's a crazy experience.
It was like that thing you do when they
they
all hear their song on the radio. We're like, ah! It was awesome.
It's kind of a big show for the Swellers. I know they're label mates with you guys now, and they're from Fenton, Michigan, which is just north of Detroit here. And they're actually winning on my show right now in the People's Choice. So you guys got to give those guys a big shout out on stage tonight, man. They're well deserved.
For sure.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, man, and best of luck with the show, and we'll see you guys back soon, hopefully.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.